Vote on the new debt deal is expected to happen this afternoon. The plan includes raising the country's borrowing limit in exchange for major spending cuts. Now, moments ago, we heard from Senator Dick Durbin. Now, let's head across the aisle. Arizona Senator John McCain joins us live from the Russell Rotunda. I don't know, Senator, did you and Senator Durbin just swap shirts? Because you're both wearing exactly the same color shirt.
Usually we do everything just exactly the same throughout our careers.
Senator McCain, we've been watching you very carefully over the last several weeks and months in this debate. I want to just play for you an exchange you're very familiar with, an exchange you had with Senator Durbin over the weekend.
The senator from Illinois believe that we are close to an agreement here?
I hope so.
And does the senator from Illinois agree that most likely that agreement will not have an increase in taxes associated with it, at least in the short term?
I hope not.
You hope so?
I hope that there is revenue included in any agreement.
All right, first of all, that exchange is characterized and unique just by virtue of the fact that you two were speaking to each other like gentlemen. But I know you're both veterans of this whole thing. I couldn't tell over the course of the last few days who you were frustrated with, because it sounded like you were more frustrated by the very fiscal conservative side of the Republican Party and the Tea Party, and you actually called them a few names earlier. I want to get a sense of who you think was intransigent in this discussion.
Well, I think both sides were intransigent, but I was also of the firm belief that the proposal a couple of weeks ago that Senator McConnell brought out is, you know, the, quote, last option. You look at this agreement, that's pretty much along those lines. Look, I think that one of the things that's been kind of overblown is that I read from a Wall Street Journal editorial. Wall Street Journal is not exactly the most left-leaning editorial in America, and it said, referred to hobbits in that they're not real characters, meaning that it's not real to think that you're going to pass a balanced budget amendment through the Senate of the United States and get 20 Democrat votes, and you're not. I have supported a balanced budget amendment and voted for it 13 times, and I'm an advocate of it. But to demand something that is not possible as part of this deal, frankly, was, in other words, a balanced budget amendment passed, not voted on. I'm glad we're going to vote on the balanced budget amendment. I hope we vote on it every day until it is passed, because it's the only way we have to conclude this effort to get our spending under control.
But you are fully aware that there's no chance of that happening under a Democratic-controlled Senate with a Democratic president.
No, and we own 1/3 of the government, as you know. That's why I think that this agreement we've reached is pretty much a success, but it's also compromise. But the fact we're not going to hike taxes, the fact that cuts in spending are going to be larger than the increase in the spending, that we will not be, we will have a committee that I think will be credible, but I have to tell you, I am worried about the size of defense cuts that may be contemplated, but that doesn't mean I'm therefore rejecting the agreement. I'm just worried.
Some of your Republican colleagues, though, who do have certain problems, as you have with defense, but certain problems with other areas and don't think that things have gone far enough, have already said they won't support this. At some point, you are all elected to go there and come up with tough compromises. This was certainly about the toughest compromise that you guys have had to deal with in the last year or so. What do you say to those members?
Well, I say to them, if they can come up with a viable proposal that will get a majority vote in both houses and signed by the president, I'd be more than happy to examine it. I'd also tell them to look at what the markets were telling us all last week. It wasn't a matter of how we pay our debts, or it was a matter of the world's financial markets basically cratering. But finally, what they should worry about more than anything else is the view in which the American people hold us and their low opinion of us, because we are failing to do what they think is our job. And by the way, they're right.
Senator, I know you follow the economy very closely. You know, you saw those GDP numbers on Friday that indicate very slow growth in the second quarter and extremely dangerously slow growth in the first 3 months of this year. Are you worried that all of this talk about pullback in spending, even though this bill doesn't actually do it immediately, all of this talk about pullback in spending is dangerous and could put us on the path to another recession?
No, I think we've proven with the so-called stimulus that the Keynesian approach has been an abject failure. I mean, they said that unemployment would be a maximum of 8% after we passed it. It's clear that pumping money into the system, which then increases the debt and deficit, is not the way to go. But it is jobs, and so we need to cut the corporate tax rate. We need to eliminate. I'd like to see a 2-year moratorium, except for emergency, on government regulations. We've got to give investors the confidence that they will have a stable environment in which to invest and create jobs.
Senator McCain, good to have you on the show. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me on.
Give Senator Durbin his shirt back.
I know they're wearing the same color
Totally
shirt and
wearing
tie
the same
today.
shirt, I'm telling you.